What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is episode 3 of the Fantasy on Tap podcast, along with the Fantasy Six Pack. I'm Eric Sonnier here with my co-host Blake Gambino, and as you can see, we got a third. We're here with our boy Marlon DeFillo. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Sorry if I just butchered your last name. I was looking at. I don't know why I just said that.
It's all good.
But
I get worse. I get a whole lot worse.
But before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you to the Fantasy Six Pack. I want to go ahead and say that just become an all access member on their YouTube channel. Please subscribe Fantasy Six Pack to get access to our award-winning rankings, draft cheat sheets, DFS projections, betting tools, and any other great content. Best of all, you get access to us directly on our Discord, where you can get custom advice for your leagues. Go to fantasysixpack.net/plans to sign up. fantasysixpack.net/plans to sign up today. All right. So like I said, we're here joined by our buddy Marlon here. He's a longtime friend and a longtime member of a couple leagues that me and Blake are in. Mm-hmm. He's also a co-host of the Day Late Dollar Short podcast. What's up, man? Tell us about it.
Nothing, man. Just this podcast I have with me, my friend Martin. We started the podcast in I believe 2019. Been doing pretty strong with it. Then we added a third member this year with our brother Justin Hawkins, a good friend of mine. We talk about everything, man. Anything under the sun, like sports, politics, music, women, all that stuff. So, it's a good little podcast that we had just to have, good conversations.
So by women, do you mean you be giving dating advice on the show, or what's going on there?
Yeah, that part too. We had, but 2 of the 3 are married, so we give our perspective, of marriage life. You guys can relate, y'all being married as well. So, that's what we do.
Absolutely. Blake, how you feeling today, dude? What's going on?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to get this episode out to the world. I think we have some good things to say, and not only that, we're gonna let y'all into some of our leagues and some of the things we've been doing. First we want to talk Dynasty and stuff, but then we're gonna open up some of the trades we made in the leagues that we're all a part of, and let y'all in on that, and maybe y'all can vote on who you think had the best trade or whatnot. So that's what I'm ready for.
Absolutely.
By that, I think he means the trades that me and Marlon have made, because you still haven't made any yet. So you need to.
I made the trade with Marlon in the 12-pack league. You don't like to count that.
Dynasty here, man. Oh damn.
Yeah, we're not talking about that yet.
Keeper league.
Is that not a dynasty league? It's like half. It's like
no,
it's
a keeper league.
Yeah,
a keeper league. I guess kind of. But all right.
Little dynasty. Well, I traded the first overall pick, people. If you want to know about it, comment below.
I don't think you want to know about it, honestly. I don't think you want to talk about it.
I mean, you want to talk about it? Go for it. I'm here for it.
It was a while ago now. I have to pull it up and even think to even remember what happened, but I did what I had to do when I got it to a team that had no picks from 1 to 7 or something. So I had to do what I had to do,
Hey, beggars can't be choosers. You're coming into it. I warned you before you joined, and you're taking it. You're taking your time, but I see you're trying to come around.
I appreciate you.
For sure. It's all love, Marlon. That was for you.
All right. Well, to get started, the NFL draft happened, and then every year since we joined this league, we do the rookie draft right after the fantasy draft. I mean, the real draft ends. The day after we started. Mm-hmm. We actually finished our draft. It's 3 rounds. It's the snake, which I think we need to talk about, because apparently that's like a thing where in rookie drafts now that they're doing like non-snake drafts, where like it's just 1 through 12, and then it goes back in the second round to start 1. Mm-hmm. And, it kind of makes sense when somebody just explains to me, like, why does the first place team get this first pick in the second round? It doesn't seem really. It would help the bad teams get better quicker if they got better quick. But that's a conversation for the league. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
But I can get started. I got at the round start. I think me and Blake already kind of discussed our picks and who we picked. So as you know, I got Bijan, and then I got
you Falcons fan.
I got Achane.
Secret Falcons fan.
I'm a secret winning fan. Actually, I'm pretty open about it. Dalton Kincaid, and I got Will Levis. So Blake, who'd you get?
I got Bryce Young at 2.7, which I think is pretty good. I got Darnell Washington, the tight end. I got Jets running back. I can't remember his name now. It's like one of those hard names to say.
Israel Abanikanda.
Yeah,
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And Oh, and then I got your boy Kayshon Boutte out of LSU going to the Patriots. So
Dude,
yeah, those are my picks.
I like Achane Boutte, but like, did y'all see that report today that he might not even make the team?
No, I didn't see that.
I got it on the sleeper and ESPN. It says Achane Boutte not a lock to make the roster. That is nuts to me. I've never seen a pick go like kid pick does not make the team. The dude was so good.
His ankle injury must have really like derailed his like explosiveness or something, huh? Because I mean, he went from being like a quick, fast little dude to like now he might not even make the roster. He can't be a special teamer. Like, geez,
I think it's because you know how he might be lazy and Belichick don't play games. So
it's also kind of funny though to realize that I've seen different like YouTube videos. People will say Boutte. They can't figure out how to pronounce his last name because we're from Louisiana. We know what it is, right. But it's kind of funny to see other people how they pronounce it. It's like
wait till they see some of the other dudes. These names out of Louisiana, man, they never get them right. I mean, I have my last name is Sonnier. You should hear some of the names I've heard. So I feel you. But Marlon, who'd you get? How you feeling?
I feel good about mine. So my first pick, I got Kendre Miller from the Saints, running back, with the 111 pick. Then my second pick, I got the 2-3. I got wide receiver Jonathan Mingo for the Panthers. But my third pick, I got wide receiver Michael Wilson for the Cardinals. Oh, I forgot. I also got Sam LaPorta tight end in the second round, 212. So I'm pretty happy with my selection.
I was trying to trade you for that pick. I remember.
Yeah.
I was gonna pick him too. So like when you picked him, I was just like, well, we're on the
same
page.
What you offered was crazy. I'm like, come on, I'm not taking that, man.
I was just mad because you and the other dude were taking so long to make your picks, and I was just like, well, I'll give you anything, like whatever you want. Like,
well, he had pissed me off, so I'm like, okay, you want me to be petty? I'll be real petty. I'm gonna like take my time because we have a full 8 hours to pick. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wait the full 8 hours. But talking with Eric, other guys in the league, and nah, let me not do that. Let me go ahead and make my pick and move forward. So yeah,
he took the high road. I was proud of him. All right, well, since we did, we talked about the draft a little bit, let's
go.
All right, well, let's jump into some of these rookies. Like we talked about on the last show, we talked about their landing spots and why we don't like them. But let's get into depth of some specific players that each of us like, and for fantasy purposes, not for their long term NFL value. Like, who do we think is going to be good? Like who's going to be? It's easy to say people on your team, so try not to do that. But Blake, start us off. Who you like?
Well, I mean, I think we went through this last time, and I'm sticking to it. Jahmyr Gibbs, going for the Lions. Both the backs that were there last year are gone, so there's a lot of touches available. They spent high draft capital on them.
Super high, huh? Like pick 12 or 13 or something.
Yeah, and they're already, he tweaked his ankle in practice or something, and they're already being cautious with him, So they want this dude to play all 17 and get a lot of touches. He's gonna catch the ball. Like I always say with the Lions up there, they're running that old Saints offense, it feels like. So they're going to run the ball probably 55% of the time, try to establish a run because, they got Goff, who now people are saying is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. But
technically,
with the NFC being weak. Not that he's the top 5 quarterback. So, I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs, though. He's going to catch the ball. And if he doesn't get a lot of goal line opportunities stolen by Montgomery, which is what you probably think. I think once they start seeing how electric this dude is, though, he's a guy you're going to want to have touch the ball in the red zone for sure. So that's my pick. Jahmyr Gibbs out of the Detroit Lions.
He reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara, honestly. He looks just like him. He came from Alabama. Mm-hmm. He catches the ball really well. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's not going to run through the offensive line every single play, but he catches the ball, makes something happen. Marlon, what about you?
For me, I'm gonna go with wide receiver Zay Flowers. He's a first round pick, and he had the draft capital, which is very, very telling. I'm not that big a believer in Rashad Bateman. I mean, I know he had his past 2 years to show something. His first year he was okay. Last year he was kind of hurt, but still wasn't all that great. And we all know we love Odell Beckham, but he's bound to get hurt at some point. So I think with Zay Flowers, with the draft capital, him being a good receiver, like a good slot receiver, getting Tyreek Hill confidence, I don't understand. I mean, he's not that fast, but he's a pretty good wide receiver. So I would say Zay Flowers is my pick that I like.
Yeah, I mean, MVP just got paid So I mean, he's got to be able to. He's got to hear all these haters talking about how he can't throw the ball, right? I mean, he's got to come out here and prove it. And I think Zay Flowers is a good guy to go do that with.
Yes.
So my pick, I'm actually going to pivot. I said somebody different last time. I'm going to say your boy over there, Sam LaPorta. Actually, I think he's pretty good. I said Kincaid last time, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stay away from my own player. LaPorta, dude. I mean, Jared Goff. He likes to dump it off to his tight ends. Hawkinson, he ate. For the Rams, what's his name? Gerald Everett and Tyler Higbee both were like really good. Both fantasy starters. I think Higbee was like a top 5 player at one point whenever Goff was on the team. And this dude Sam LaPorta, they drafted him high. They went out to get him. He's a 6'3", 250. I mean, the dude's big. He's not as good of a pass catcher as Kincaid, but he might be a little bigger. So I think he has a chance to really break out on that offense, especially with all their receivers over there, Jameson Williams, Amon Ra. I mean, they're going to be focused on those guys, and I think he's going to be wide open down the middle.
And Jim was up for 6 games too, so I think the first weeks of the season, the boys going to eat. I think the very first half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're in a dome. Like, I mean, it's just easier. Isn't Detroit in a dome? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So like they're all. I mean, they're never going to have bad weather. He's gonna eat. Blake, you got anybody else?
Another person? Ooh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's funny that they're hard on some Detroit people because people do actually. I've seen some pundits saying Detroit, Kansas City in the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean,
let's not get too crazy here.
I'm seeing that, and I'm just like, wow, it's funny we both picked Detroit players. Another rookie that I like. I mean, I can always say Charbonnet. I just like that he was probably one of my top-ranked running backs coming out. I just like the way the guy runs. He's not the fastest guy, but he runs strong. Got great vision, and I think even though he's going to be splitting time over there with I always forget this guy's name.
Kenneth Walker.
As long as even though he's going to be splitting time with that guy, who also is very good. The Seahawks are a run-heavy team. They like to establish the run, and if their defense is playing well this year, they might just be wanting to run the clock out. And just, maybe they don't want to beat up Kenneth Walker. That's why they got Charbonnet. So I like Charbonnet as my other pick for an MVP for the season. He's not going to have as high as a draft stock either, or a draft stock because he's a 50-50 guy, So
Yes.
he's not going to go in the first round and drafts and stuff. So.
I was kind of down on him before, but now that I'm seeing like some reports, I mean, Kenneth Walker did get hurt already last year. That was his first year as a rookie. I mean, like you said, the Seahawks like to run the ball a bunch. I mean, he could make something happen. He was like one of the better runners in the draft, so I don't hate the pick there. I think you were saying something last time about Jordan Addison. I kind of like him too. I mean, he's not the tallest guy in the world, but neither is Flowers and neither is the other guy that drafted in the first round, Quentin Johnston. Addison's over there with Jefferson, so he's never going to see the number one cornerback. He's always going to be, Kirk Cousins likes to throw the ball. They're probably going to get rid of Dalvin Cook. I think he could have a really good rookie season. Yeah, I think he could have a really good rookie season. Speaking of Dalvin Cook, they just replaced him on the website with Alexander Madison. So I don't know. I said he was going to be the starter, but I guess that's a conversation apparently. Dalvin Cook.
I heard about him getting traded to like Washington or something. I think is the latest.
Oh God!
I said or Dolphins. I think I said heard Dolphins too, but I would just ruin Achane.
That wouldn't make sense though, would it? I mean, they'll have Jeff Wilson there. They have Mostert still there, Achane, and then Dalvin Cook. That just wouldn't. No, that wouldn't make
so
sense.
Much.
But, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, it's true. Dolphins like to do crazy things.
Yeah, that's true. But another guy that I do like is Quentin Johnston for the Chargers. Mike Williams getting up there in age. He's 28. Keenan Allen, he's 31. Just at some point, they're gonna get out one of those 2 wide receivers. Like next year, I think he can get out of Keenan Allen's contract. He makes with $18 million next year, and that's kind of high. And you gotta pay Justin Herbert at some point too. So I think Quentin Johnston will be the wide receiver 1 at some point. Maybe not this year, but definitely next year. Them see me wide receiver 1 because you don't trust Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I mean, he's a reliable wide receiver, but he's 31 years old, man. Just at some point, I cut ties.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both have trouble staying on the field. So I mean,
right.
This dude could be starter week 1. Honestly, you never know with these two dudes.
Yep.
All All right, well, let's jump into some people we don't like. I mean, I can start off the train with, I think, the most controversial player in fantasy this year will be Anthony Richardson. I mean, this dude's either going to be a Justin Fields where he runs for 150 yards a game, or he's just going to be a Jacoby Brissett where he came in with all this hype and then he's just not very good. I personally watched him at LSU. When he was at Florida, I watched him play against SEC teams. I thought he was bad. I mean, I don't see how these dudes are like saying that he's going to be able to just, be good against NFL defenses now when he was bad against college defenses. I mean, going number 4 in the draft, I think was a reach. I'm not even saying it's because Will Levis is that good. I don't think he's that great either. He's got a big arm, but I think Anthony Richardson has a lot to prove. And like I said, I hope he proves me wrong, but you just never know, And I don't think his intangibles are nice. Let's say that. They say he compares him to Cam Newton, but Cam Newton had the national championship season. He destroyed every team he played in college. He had Anthony Richardson didn't throw a touchdown this year until week 7. So his team went 6-6. So I just don't know. What about you guys?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna stick to who I said on our last recording when we talked about this. Even though I'm a Saints fan, I still think Kendre Miller, his ADP is pretty high, considering we spent money on Jamal Williams. So that guy's gonna get the Mark Ingram treatment. He's gonna get the goal line carries. He's gonna be like the bell cow. And then we still have Kamara, of course. You never know. He might not get suspended. I mean, you never know. It's possible with today's times. And then we still got Taysom Hill, who's going to come back and do some
God.
He's going to do it, dude. Don't like
he's going to get back there and get 7 runs in one game, and that's taking touches out of Kendre Miller. I think Kendre Miller will have like some boom or bust games here or there, but I don't think you're going to draft that guy as a consistent, like your second running back or something, I just don't think, not this year, that's going to happen. So that's why Kendre Miller is my pick. Still love the guy. Like I said, I think he's flashy and like he can be a great running back for us. But for fantasy purposes, I just don't see him. It's not a guy I'm picking high. I'm not going to jump on him to like make sure I get him type of guy. If he's fallen to me in some drafts and, there's a couple guys I don't like ahead of him, then yeah, I might pick him. But I really don't see myself picking him maybe in like 7th or 8th round in like redraft or something, And that would be pretty high. Like there would have to be no running backs left, So
gotcha.
That's where I'm at. What you think, Marlon?
I'm gonna go with quarterback CJ Stroud. Houston, the fact they traded all that capital to get Will Anderson, which is fine, but like you're putting your future franchise quarterback in the predicament. He's throwing to Robert Woods, Nico Collins, Mechie, Tank Dell. Like that's not that great. And the fact you traded a future first, a future third, and you trade your second round pick this current draft just to get Will Anderson is like, what are you exactly doing to help out your franchise quarterback? And just to me, he won't succeed. I don't think in the first couple of years. I mean, to be patient with him, like I wouldn't start him. I mean, if you have to pinch, go ahead, but you won't expect any production, like really talking about it. So, yeah, I'll go with CJ Stroud, man. I feel bad for the kid, honestly.
I don't know if you watch Mechie play college football. Mechie is good at playing receiver. He would have went higher if he wouldn't have hurt hit his leg. But he's pretty much the reason Alabama didn't win that championship. That when he got hurt in the playoffs, he's the reason that they were winning, and then he came out and they stopped him. But Mechie's a beast. He just got, and then he had cancer, so then he didn't get to play last year. But if he's still that player from Alabama, that dude's good. I don't really know much about Tank Dell, but I know Mechie's pretty good.
Yeah,
Tank Dell out of Houston. I mean, they picked him. He had a great season. I think he played a couple years in JUCO, and then he played one season in Houston, and it's the Houston Texans. So they obviously it was close to home for them. They really liked him. They drafted him a lot higher than some other wide receivers. I want to say he went like 3rd round or something. So
yeah,
I think they like that guy.
I think I read that CJ Stroud told them to pick Tank Dell. They were like, "Hey, I like this guy. We practiced together, and I think I like him." They went and got him. So I feel you though. I mean, rookie quarterbacks going into these horrible teams like him and Bryce Young both. They're like, I've been seeing that the Panthers are the favorite to win the division now. I'm just like, with what? You know what I mean? Like with who? Like with
Miles Sanders, baby.
Like, and then they have like their receiving room is like just 3 like backup wide receivers. You know what I mean? Like 3 wide receiver 2s, like Dillon, Chark, and
Mingo, baby.
What's his name? Terrence Mitchell. Yeah, okay, they got
Terrence Marshall.
Marshall, yeah,
LSU.
Yeah, he was
Did
great.
you see the video of Bryce Young too, standing behind his line?
Yes.
He looked like a kid out there, dude. Like
When he was
this is
like
what I
taking
said
his...
on our draft pod. I'm like, the guy's small, you know. I mean, Drew Brees didn't even ever look that small, you know. So
I mean, you're right, bro. And then Drew Brees had that thing, you know, like every time he was always like looking like this, like when he was passing, like all you saw was like under his chin because he was trying to see over the line. And I think Bryce Young is shorter than Drew Brees. Like when the linemen were bent down, at least you could see him like back there, and
right.
and then they all stood up and he was gone. Like you couldn't see him in the background. It was hilarious.
Isn't Drew like 6 feet though? Isn't it like 6 feet?
Yeah, I think Drew Brees was 6 foot or like 5'11" and 3/4, whatever it was. But I think Bryce Young's like 5'9", right? Like I mean, he's
5'9", 5'10", so that's shorter than Drew Brees. So
and he's not like a barn burner like Kyler Murray is. Like he's not like a super fast guy. So I think he can scramble, but I don't think he's like a.
I think he only ran for like 300 yards his whole college career or something.
Well, I mean, there was always just dumb stacked with the receivers over there, so I wouldn't have ran the ball if I was him either. I mean, that's just weights in your legs. All you have to do is throw it up at some point. One of these first round receivers is going to catch it. Yeah, another guy I don't like that much. I don't like Jalin Hyatt that much, and it's not because I don't like the player. It's because I don't like the landing spot. You know, the Giants they don't really have a true number one over there. Danny Dimes isn't really that great of a quarterback, I don't think personally. I mean, Hyatt's a really good, deep guy. Like I think we talked about it. I think he had 5 touchdowns against Alabama. So I was really high on him there, but like he's not really one of those possession receiver guys. You know what I mean? Like he's not one of those guys who are going to catch it with his hands. He really catches it, like he bashes.
I don't think he has a big route tree either. Like his measurables weren't anything that told you like, oh, this is the next Antonio Brown or something. You know, he's more of just like he has deep speed, and then didn't he not test well in the 40 too? He had like a 4.48 or something. Like he wasn't as burner quick as he thought. So, as we thought,
he slipped, and I think they were saying that his receiving buddy Cedric Tillman was like a little bit better than him too. I think so. I think he slipped like the 3rd round, and I thought he was better than that. I mean, like I said, you go against Alabama and score 5 touchdowns. I mean, you got to be at least a little good. So, yeah,
maybe that was all Hendon Hooker though. You never know.
That's true. I mean. Another
Lions player.
They never see the field. Yeah.
Lions.
We're gonna turn this into a Lions podcast.
Oh,
dude, the Lions are building something nice, dude. Matter of fact, that dude I was doing this podcast with last year, he was the biggest Lions fan. Like I think he has like a own separate Lions podcast where he only talked with the Lions. So I bet he's like on cloud 9.
He's probably happy as fuck right now,
dude. I would be. I mean, their team's looking up.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
with Jameson Williams get suspended, so.
I think Marlon. I think last time we were talking about it, you talked about Rashid Rice, huh? You didn't like him very much.
I kind of changed my mind on that. I kind of rethought it, and I'm gonna go with somebody who Blake likes. I'm gonna go with Charbonnet. Just the fact that they spent a 2nd round pick on Walker the previous year, and spent another 2nd round pick on him is like, just what are you doing? Unless we don't know something about we're going with Kenneth Walker. Like something that Pete Carroll saw at practice or just throughout the entire season last year was like, okay, clearly Kenneth Walker is not our guy. Let me go with this running back, Zach Charbonnet, in the 2nd round. That was just very telling, and just it's going to be a running team, it's going to be a passing team because they also drafted JSN with the 1st round. So it's like, okay, so you have Lockett, DK, JSN, you got Kenneth Walker starting, and then you got Zach Charbonnet. So it's like, how are you going to operate your offense? Like, are you just purely balanced? You can be passing, you can be rushing. To me, is a lot of questions. I just wanted to avoid Zach Charbonnet at all costs if I have to.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. They followed up in Nick Jigba in the 1st round with the running back in the 2nd. Like, are the Seahawks good enough that they could do that, where they could take a running back and a receiver in the first 2 rounds? Like, I mean.
In real life, yeah, but fantasy wise, I just want no part of that. No part whatsoever.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks, you think are that good where they could do that? I mean, did they make the playoffs last year?
I
don't think they did they?
I can't remember, but I mean, as of right now, they're probably the 2nd best team in the division. Yeah, they played the 49ers last year in the playoffs, I believe.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll be the 2nd best team again. So they'd be good, but just like fantasy wise, I want no part of Zach Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker. I want no parts of it.
Okay, I feel that. All right, well, how about this? Rookie MVP predictions. We've been talking about players we like, players we don't like. I want to know who you guys think is going to be the number 1 fantasy guy. We'll skip Bijan. I think that's unfair. I think he's going to win it. But we'll say who's the number one guy besides the obvious. Like I think that's too easy.
I'm gonna go with your boy Anthony Richardson, man. While I'm not that big on college, I don't watch college football like talking about it, but just reading some of the articles, looking at some highlights, and just kind of getting a gauge of Anthony Richardson as a player. He's a freak athlete, 6'4", 230, runs a 4.4 40. And he's also going to be coached by Shane Steichen. He coached, Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts. He brought the best out of them. So I kind of think the same thing.
Two pretty good guys.
And it won't surprise me, man, that, they bring in that Philly quarterback sneak thing to the Colts. Like, when he gets the red zone, sneaking in with A. Rich. He's 6'4", 230. That can be easy money for a touchdown. And real life, he may not be good, but fantasy-wise, he can provide a lot of value. Like, maybe he gets, 12, 14 passing touchdowns, but 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns. And right there, it's a top 5 quarterback right there.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, like you said, that coach, Justin Herbert kind of can't win high, but Hurts was like, y'all were like, we have Wentz as our quarterback. We don't need this guy. And then he came in and then it was good. So, I mean, if that coach brought it out of him, I could see it. I like to be proved wrong. I don't want to hate on people. I mean, this guy went 4th overall for a reason. Let's hope he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Blake, who you got?
Well, I'm definitely going to move off of who I said. I think I said Gibbs last time, but I already talked enough about Gibbs. And I kind of want to I don't know. I'm feeling like I talked about Addison too, and I'm feeling something about the Vikings and their team, and I'm just really looking at them trying to lock down. They got Hockenson now too, right? So they're going to try to lock down Justin Jefferson. You got Hockenson taking that linebacker over the middle. Now you got Addison, who's guarding that dude, the third or fourth best cover guy on the team. We know Kirk Cousins can throw the ball. He might not be the greatest, but if you look at the production that Dillon had, I think 8+ touchdowns in every year he was there, 90+ catches most of the time. Even if he gets 70 for 1,200 and 10 touchdowns, I mean, that's like really good for a rookie wide receiver, Now that's really MVP stat type stuff, so that's a high prediction. But if we're not taking, our main guys like Gibbs and Bajan, I like Addison, man. I really think he's gonna have the opportunity. I think that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I like him over there. I think I'm gonna stick with my original pick, and I'm gonna go. Kendre Miller, dude. I'm gonna go with the Saints guy. This is all gonna sucks because I was trying to trade for him with Marlon, but now he's gonna take that to the head.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, baby. First touchdown, you're on the trade block. I guarantee it.
But so I mean, if Alvin Kamara gets suspended, he's gonna get a head start on the 6 games, or more, whatever it's gonna be. I don't think Jamal Williams is that great a running back. I think he's okay. I mean, he had 17 touchdowns last year, don't get me wrong, but I think 16 or 15 of those touchdowns were from the 1-yard line. So, I mean, it's not like he was running 40 yards on the field and getting touchdowns. He was going with the situation, and he was capitalizing on that. So, I think he has a good path to carries. If Derek Carr gets the ball humming to these nice receivers that we have, Michael Thomas stays healthy, I think Kendre Miller can see a lot of work. And I'm pretty sure he's a good pass catcher too. So, I think he fits right in. I think that it would be a nice situation if he gets going. So that's my prediction. Besides,
I tell you what, it's nice to be in a podcast where we're not all agreeing on everything too, because that can be boring. It's like, hey, I think Gibbs is the best one. Me too. All right, let's chop it up. Good recording, guys. Peace out.
Right.
So I'm not offended that y'all guys pick the guys I said would suck and say they're going to be great. That's totally cool. So.
That is funny.
Eric,
all three.
Eric, give me your 24 first-round pick. I'll give you Kendre Miller right now. Give me your first. I'll give you Miller right now on this podcast. Send it to me.
On the podcast trade.
On the podcast, you want to do
comment down below if this is crazy to you.
Give me your first-round pick next year. You can have Miller right now. Right now.
Dude, the guy I want next year, I'm not gonna be able to get him anyway with my first-round pick. I want Caleb Williams. So it's not, I'm not gonna. You know what I'll do? I'll trade you for. I'll do this. I'll send you this trade right now. And next year I'll send you Jalen Hurts for Caleb Williams, and obviously a lot more stuff. But that'll be a next year trade we'll talk about. I know you want Hurts. You got all these quarterbacks, but I know you want Jalen Hurts on that football team. But don't get me wrong, I'm sitting this trade, so you better. I want to see accepted on this podcast.
Oh God, I'm not gonna like it. I already know I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it. Look at Blake.
I sent it, so I want you to go in.
Wow.
Don't talk about it. You gotta be about it.
Sleeper app is down, I heard, actually.
Let me check it out. Is the first round pick? I want a first round pick. God damn it. Let me see.
Dude, when we talk about this, when we post like the comments on this podcast, I'm gonna put in all caps live trade. Our first live trade on air.
He sent it.
I sent it.
Boom, baby. Get that first round pick. Give that first, baby.
All right. Pull that up and let's look at it right now.
Dang. All right, yeah. Well, since we're here, let's go ahead and jump into the some of these trades that we were talking about for the past couple of weeks. We'll skip this. We'll skip this Mecole Hardman and crap that you did the other day. That's boring. Mecole Hardman and Ingram from the Cardinals for a third. Boring. All right, we'll get into this. We'll get into like we started to. We'll get into this Jackson Smith and Jigma for Devon Achane trade that I did. You guys don't seem to be a fan of it, right?
Let's pull it up.
Oh shit! My bad.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it on my screen, but I
need the visual.
I'm like looking at it. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it.
I want to make a live trade. Let's do this. I'll give you Nick Chubb.
Let's talk about it though, man. We just did a trade. First round pick for Kendre Miller.
All right. Well, what did I send you the other day that you just didn't want? Like, I sent you something for him the other day, and you just did not want it. I'm surprised that you did this. Just like.
Oh man, rate this trade. If you're a Saints fan, rate this trade. A first next year for Kendre Miller. Wow.
And I project for Eric to be good. Eric to be a good team, but
for sure, yeah.
Now I have 5 first round picks next year's draft.
Okay.
I'll give you Nick Chubb right now for all 5 of those first round picks.
See, then he goes that foolishness. See,
I'm gonna be honest with you though. That pick's gonna be 12. So I don't get too comfortable.
Wow, he's calling a shot.
Just want to say, Eric, who won?
Gotta get back to my winning ways. You're right.
Okay, just want you to know.
I can't wait to see what Connor says. I mean, he must be busy or something because he hasn't commented yet. And usually he's pretty quick with those fingers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby. I have my plan. I'm gonna say right here and now on the podcast. My plan is to move up to the 101 to get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's my plan.
Wow, tell us who you like.
So now I only have to get to 2, so I can get Caleb Williams and Jalen Hurts. Now you're done.
Maybe we'll see. Or I might go around and get Caleb Williams my first pick. I don't know. I got options, baby.
But Marvin Harrison Jr. That's good. He's a beast. Like, let's be real here. That dude's gonna be a stud
for sure. He's got good genes.
He's gonna be.
You know that.
I mean, he's gonna be ahead of what's his name, Olave and Jackson Smith. He's better than both of them, right? I mean, that dude's gonna be pretty good. So, all right. Well, back to it.
But real quick though, just because of my luck, I won't get the first 101. I'll probably get the 104 or 103, some shit. I'm be missing out. So whatever.
Do you have anybody that's not very good first? I mean,
what you mean?
Like, do you have any of these sorrier teams first round picks?
So I'm hoping Kyle's team is bad and Martin's team. Those I'm kind of making on those two guys to be bad. But
I mean, you got me.
I got you, Connor, and myself. It's gonna be late. I already know it's gonna be late.
Yeah.
So I'm not really banking on those, but I'm hoping that whoever has a 101, I can just give them all 4 picks. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna give you all my first round picks for the 101. I do that for Marvin Harrison Jr. I would do that for Marvin Harrison right here and there. Absolutely.
Man, you're making me want to tank. Go on.
I'll do it. Like, that's kind of my plan. That's the whole point of me doing these first round picks. Getting these first round picks. Marvin Harrison Jr. That's who I want. So that's the plan.
Called your shot. I like it. I mean, hey, do what you got to do. I really think it's going to happen. I mean, somebody like Connor is going to want to trade for all these first round picks. Like you're saying, you're going to be like, all right, well, I'll do it. And you're gonna get the best receiver in a while.
We'll see. All right, let's keep it going.
All right, so yeah, let's go to these next trade. The trade that we started with last time. We're gonna start with Jackson Smith and Jigba for Devon Achane. I did this trade with my buddy Cole. We were sitting there at a bar. I'm gonna be honest. We just played a full 18. I started harping on his running backs, man. I mean, dude, his running backs were weak. Like, let me read you this guy's running backs. He had Josh Jacobs, which obviously is good, but then he has James Cook, and that is it. Like, besides James Cook, he has nobody. Singletary, I mean, he's on the Houston. He's not the greatest. And then Hubbard, he's not going to be anybody. And he has Tanks Bigsby, which could be good. Like, we didn't talk about him this year, but if, with Etienne kind of being a pass-catching guy, he could be all right. But, and then his receivers are just dominant. I mean, he has Diggs, Lamb, and Olave. I mean, those are both three guys. And I was like, dude, let's just make this trade happen. So, I kind of put my foot on the pedal. I was like, hey, you got to do it now or I'm going to take it away. So that's how that happened.
Giving away your secrets here. Now I know. Get them drunk and then bully their team.
And I think Achane could be good. So I don't think this is a bad trade. Neither one of them have played. JSN's at least behind Metcalf. Probably Lockett too for at least right now. But what do y'all think?
I think you won the trade. I mean, JSN, Lockett got into his role that he had because of their just lack of wide receivers. So I think Lockett really goes behind JSN right off the jump. Not because he's not good or anything. Like I said, he's just not better than JSN, I don't think. So I'm saying you won that trade. Even if you, you just got the other dude, Kendre Miller, too, to replace Achane. So, I mean, there you go. You're killing it, bro. All hail the king.
Wait, stop. Wait, chill out. I'm the king right now. I'm the defending champ. I'm the king. All right, put some respect for my name, okay? But Eric is good though. He is king. I give him his props for that. But Eric, you won this trade. I like Achane. I think he's going to be pretty solid, but still, he's playing behind Wilson and Mostert. Maybe Cook. We don't know just yet, so that's still kind of a mystery. JSN, he was clearly number one wide receiver in this rookie draft class. And I think we have the assumption that Lockett probably leave next year. And just JSN's a good route runner, man. He's a good slot wide receiver. And man, I can just see him just being a PPR machine like Amon St. Brown. I could truly see that. So yeah, you won this deal hands down. And what pissed me off is I sent a deal to Cole for running back and wide receiver for his 3rd round pick next year. He said no. I'm like, come on.
Right.
Hey, come on, bro. Like this
gotta push that dude's arm, man.
But I digress. So yeah, good job, Eric. You won that deal.
Thank you. All right, well, back to the next one. So this one is really like how this is the reason that my team turned around. Obviously, as you guys can see, I had Jamar Chase and the AJ Dillon. That was my team. That's the people I traded. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge LSU fan. So this one really, really, really hurt. So obviously, Jamar Chase is top 5 receiver in the league. Maybe top 3, probably top 3. And he's my boy. I mean, he won us he was our receiver for the national championship. He's the third of the reason we made it. Him, Jefferson, and Chase, and Burrow. I mean, but dude, if I had Alvin Kamara, I had Javonte Williams. It was just my team was just lacking. It was I just came off of 2 championships. I just lost to Marlon. I mean, I didn't make it to the championship this year. I didn't. Marlon took it. You
were lost anyway. It's fine. You were lost anyway.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Your team was sacked. I mean, it wasn't going to happen this year for me. So I had to rebuild. I had to make it happen. So I knew this league was a Jamar Chase fan, just like I was. So I went for it. I mean, as you can see, I got Metcalf, J.K. Dobbins, Khalil Herbert, and a first, which I then turned to Dalton Kincaid, who I think he's going to be great too, almost immediately because he's going to be in the slot. They were saying slot and tight end. So I think he's going to be nice. And I got a 3rd next year for I had to trade away my boy Chase, AJ Dillon, and a 2nd next year. So now I only have 2 3rds next year because I just traded that first in that trade. So we'll make something happen. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident in that trade actually. Just because I needed it. My lineup looks a lot better with the trade than it would have without.
Yeah, I definitely agree. While Chase is I would say the best player in the deal. You made out pretty good. I mean, you got DK Metcalf. It's not too much of a tear down. Plus, you got a 1st-round pick. Then you turn to Kincaid, who's going to be, I think, a pretty good tight end for the Bills. I mean, at some point, he's going to replace Dawson Knox. Dobbins, I mean, he's going to run first offense with Lamar. That's pretty solid. And Khalil Herbert, I mean, I think he's a starter there in Chicago, but he's not the different piece. Him and Quentin Johnston would be pretty nice little tandem for the next couple of years because Foreman's on a 1-year deal. And you got a 3rd for next year. So I think you made out pretty good in this trade. So.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I needed something. I think this needed to happen. I wish I could show you guys a trade with our co-host here, but this dude does not like to trade. So let's scroll down a little bit and talk about this big trade between Connor and Matt, dude. These dudes must have been smoking crack. I just don't understand what Matt was doing. I just don't understand this trade. I mean, Blake, this is your brother. You got to explain it. Come on.
I mean, looking at the trade, I have to believe all the picks. I mean, he ended up picking like Jordan Addison and a couple other rookies that are decent, you know. So I mean,
so you got Jordan Addison, you got Anthony Richardson, and let me see what else he got with those picks. Let me see draft.
But I mean, he has Josh Allen, so I don't know. I mean, it's kind of funny. My bro's usually very, very. I mean, maybe he gets it from me. I'm probably hard against trading, so for him to have made that trade, I thought it more just seemed like Connor was just giving him so much that he was just kind of like, I kind of have to do this, you know. So Taylor was basically his only running back because he has like Elliott. He had two dudes that are like free agents right now, so it's like, you know, Taylor was his main. Be like if I traded Chubb, you know, it's like it's the one guy you got. Like, are you gonna get rid of him or what? So, but with Taylor being still young, it's like it's a crazy thought process for sure. I mean, I don't know how Connor talked him into it. Connor's not usually the salesman type, so it must have.
Do you see Waddle right underneath his name too?
Oh yeah,
Waddle too. Like this dude, I think Matt downgraded at running back pretty severely. I think he downgraded receiver pretty severely, and then like this Michael Carter. I guess. You got rid of him, cool, but like, I don't know, man. Matt made the playoffs last year, so like his team wasn't like bad. Like I don't think he needed to trade his best running back and one of his best receivers for, you know, obviously Montgomery. This was before the draft, so he did. Montgomery was supposed to be the starter, but then they got Gibbs, so like it was just like this isn't as good of a trade as as people thought. And these picks, I think I wrote down. Let me pull this up. I think I wrote down who these picks turned out to be, because I think some of these picks got traded as well. Actually, no, I don't think Matt traded his picks, so I think I do have these written down.
So the 1-4 he had Jordan Addison. I'm looking at it right now. 1-4 he got Jordan Addison. The 1-8. Who had the 1-8?
110. It'd be 110. He got Tajay Spears with the 110.
Okay.
He got Jayden Reed with the 2.4.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson 2.5, and then Deuce Vaughn with 3.1. We talked about Tajay Spears in the last episode. I like
well, Blake is petty, boy. I swear.
I like Tajay Spears. He's from my hometown, Ponchatoula. I don't know. I just don't like the reports on his knees. You know, I was reading that he didn't have any cartilage in his knee. He didn't have an ACL in his knee. That's what it was. And then he has like something about arthritis, like Todd Gurley kind of did. But you know, Todd Gurley for a while there was a man. So like, hopefully the hometown boy can make it happen for everybody. But
yeah, a real Brandon Roy report to go to NBA. Brandon Roy, that's kind of the reports they had on his knees when he was coming out. Bad cartilage, torn up ACLs. They basically said his career wasn't going to be long, and they were right. So it's one of those things. I think NFL for a running back is even more serious when you're, cutting and running and stuff. And that's the main thing your ACL is for, is the stability. As a person who's had a knee injury, the ACL is for stability and cutting. So like, you're gonna need that, and it also just adds that weakness to your knees. If you're playing on that synthetic turf like OBJ tore his ACL, like you might just catch a little turf monster and tear your crap right away. So I don't hope that for him. Obviously, like I'm with you. I like the guy. He's from Tulane. He had a great season. Carried us against USC. Destroyed USC and Caleb Williams. He had like 4 touchdowns, like 200 yards. He's a beast. But he's behind Derrick Henry. And the doctors did not like the medicals on his knees. So,
yeah. All right, well, moving on. Last trade we'll talk about. I'm sorry.
Real quick. Cause I just want to say something real quick. With that trade that Matt did, I realized that before that trade happened, he only had 1 pick in this rookie draft we had.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't understand why he did it. Like, he needed the assets. I mean, his best assets were Jonathan Taylor and Jaylen Waddle. I mean, prior to this trade he did, he had John Taylor and Zeke and Michael Carter, his best running backs.
Right.
So he turned that into Charbonnet, Montgomery, Miles Sanders. So I can't understand why he did it, but I think we all
did Matt get Charbonnet?
Yeah, he got Charbonnet.
That must have been his one pick he had then.
Yes. Yeah.
That would make sense. Okay.
While I think in a way that Connor won the trade, Matt got the depth that he needed, but I still think Connor won the trade.
Just gonna pop that up every now and then. Let people comment. Why? How did he make it on a technicality? Comment in the comments if you want to know.
Oh, God.
Quick recap: Matt and Blake had the same exact record. Blake beat Matt in the regular season, but Matt had the most points scored. And our setting sleeper only allows you to for the player with the most points to win like playoffs. That's not our fault. It's really just Sleeper's fault. So if you want to I'm trying to get this podcast, sponsored by Sleeper. So let's not talk
Sleeper
about them.
So I actually did the research on it because I was the person getting screwed, and they just the app doesn't have the ability to track head to head like that. And so even since me and Matt were in the same division, like you're saying, it just went directly to points scored. So he won, But
it is a free app though, so that's probably what They
of course,
do a lot.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna get there.
I've just always in any league I've ever been in, it's all if you're in the same division, especially, it's always head to head. I was 1-0 against him, So if we had the same record, I'm 1-0 against you. Like I make the playoffs, so that's kind of where I was sitting. I knew I wasn't winning nothing, but it's just nice to say you made the playoffs, especially when the team I had, I was dragging that thing to the playoffs. So I was trying.
You did make an effort. All right, so last one we'll talk about this trade since it's your trade, Marlon. Go ahead. Let's hear about it.
All right, so I traded away Tua, DeAndre Swift prior to him being traded to the Eagles. St. Brown, 23 second and 23 first, which was a 104 that Connor traded to Matt. And I received Justin Fields, Travis Etienne, DJ Moore, and 24 first. So I was a little uncomfortable with Tua being one of my quarterbacks. I had him and Russell Wilson. Just how Russell played last year, I didn't feel confident about it, and I wanted to upgrade. And shout out to my boy Connor. Connor is very aggressive when it comes to trade talks, and he wanted St. Brown and my 104 at the time. So I'm like, all right, you give me Fields, and at some point we got Etienne involved in the deal because I just not a fan of Swift, like fantasy wise. In real life, I like Swift, but fantasy, I don't trust him. So he gave me Etienne, and of course I had a down tier at some point. So I gave him St. Brown. I got DJ Moore, hoping that DJ Moore had the same effect that AJ Brown had with Hurts with Fields. So that's kind of my plan. Hopefully that works out, and I get 24 first, which now I have 5 24 first round picks to get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's my plan. So that was my method going to this deal.
It's almost half the round. Good for you. That first round next year better be quick because it better just be Marlon. Unless you do, make that trade. But I don't know.
Yeah, none of this waiting 8 hours because you're petty. Okay, none of that.
So my biggest, my funniest thing about Connor is if y'all listen to this podcast, y'all gonna think that we hate Connor. We love Connor. He's just the funniest guy. Connor likes to have great teams and then trade out of them. I feel like I feel like he was before the draft, he was locked and loaded. Now he's done. Now he's downgraded at quarterback. Justin Fields to Tua. He's downgraded at running back from Etienne to Swift. And he obviously did go up with Amon, but then he traded the first, but his team did get a little better there. So without the Matt trade, his team would look a little rough. But I think you won that trade for sure. Quick question though about this trade: would you have made this trade had Swift been on the Eagles still?
Ooh, that was my question. Yeah.
What's your one funny guy?
To be honest with you, 100% honest, I would. Simply because
would you have? You still would have made it?
I would have made a trade simply because Rashad Penny's still there. And unless we found out prior to this deal going down that Penny was out for the rest of the year with a torn ACL, something like that, and Swift was the guy, I would have kept Swift. But knowing that Swift is still there, you got Penny, you got Gainwell going to be sprinkled in, you got Scott. It's just, to me, it is a cluster. It's just a cluster. I want to avoid that at all costs. Like in best ball formats, it's cool to have Swift. But on the line league that we're in right now with a one quarterback league, I want to avoid Swift as much as possible.
Yeah, good call. Swift, I don't know what it is. Is he just lazy? I mean, he was good in college, right? I mean, he was good at first when he first came in. He just isn't that good. One other question though about this trade: why didn't you? I think Connor has AJ Brown, right? Why didn't you push for that? He wasn't having it.
He wasn't pushing AJ Brown. Trust me, I asked for AJ Brown, but I also have Devontae Smith. So having two Eagles wide receivers wouldn't have. I mean, it'll look good, but
aren't they both top 10 though? Weren't they both pretty high up there last year?
Yeah, they finished top 10, but they both didn't have like top 10 games at the same week. It kind of just it kind of flustered. So to be on a smart end, I figured it was smart to get DJ Moore when I had Justin Fields.
Yeah, 6-9. 6-9. Go my quarterback though, right? Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts babies. I mean, hey, I might trade. First was all said and done.
Hey, I mean, like I said, if we can talk about Caleb Williams, we might have something to talk about. All right, y'all. So this was a fun one. Like I said, let me close off. We'll start off with you guys need to subscribe to the Fantasy Six Pack podcast. They are great. They help us put on this show. All you gotta do is go to their website, fantasysixpack.net/plans, or YouTube channel. I'll get to become an all-access member of Fantasy Six Pack to get access to all our award-winning rankings, drafts, cheat sheets, DFS projections, betting tools, and other great content. Best of all, you get access to us directly on our Discords. Marlon, man, we really appreciate you coming back. It's even better. We won't talk about it, but it's even as a second time. It's even better that you did that for us. Check his podcast out, the Day Late Dollar Store podcast. What days the episodes come out?
Comes out every Wednesday. Wednesday morning.
Every Wednesday.
7 a.m.
So every Wednesday you can listen to the Fantasy on Tap podcast with me and Blake, and then every other right after you're done with that, go and watch the Day Late Dollar Store podcast. It's been a blast. Blake, what you got?
Well, I have a question actually because I listen to it on Spotify. I'm more of a, I drive the truck all day long, so I'm listening to Spotify. Do y'all film the video and have it on YouTube as well?
So we're working on the YouTube platform. We're still trying to figure things out. As of right now, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, but we are working towards getting on YouTube as well. We're working on that.
Yeah, because we'll say one thing. It's cool to see faces so you can get voices separated. Because at first, when Justin was talking, I thought it was Martin. Even though I know Justin, I don't know Martin as well. Yes. But for some reason, it took me 10 minutes into the podcast. I'm like, wait, this is Martin talking. I know your voice, I knew you, but then I had to flip it and be like, wait, the guy who started talking first, that was Martin, but I don't know why I was thinking it was Justin. So to be able to see y'all's faces would be cool too. So I enjoyed the podcast though, man. So keep it up, and we'll be
appreciate
constant listeners.
Thank y'all, man.
Yeah,
appreciate y'all having me on the podcast. It means a lot. It's always good to catch up with you guys, talking football, fantasy football at that. As much love. Truly appreciate you guys. And one thing before we go, Blake, I'm gonna send you a first round pick for Nick Chubb. You gonna take
just one singular first round pick? I will not take it. No.
Okay, I thought I had 2 live trades on here. Okay.
Maybe a running back in a first round pick. I mean, maybe. He's RB6 ADP though, so I mean, you gotta come correct.
Never mind.
If you take him off my team, I'm going nowhere. So.
Okay. All right.
That's fair.
All right. Actually, thanks for tapping in with us, Marlon.
Appreciate y'all.
Now that I know what you want, I might send my trade as well. But all right, guys. Like you said, we're gonna tap on out of here. Until next week. See ya.
Fly, you can fly, baby.
Who that?